Welcome to TalkFlirty Podcast, the podcast where life is reflected through intimate conversation with me, your host, Nikki F. Wet. This is episode 2. Thank you for coming back and listening again. I wanted to take a moment to do a little bit more introduction to TalkFlirty Podcast and myself. Again, my name is Nikki F. Wet. And there's no sexual connotation to that name, Nikki F. Wet. It was just simply my Twitter handle from 2010. It still is my Twitter handle, so you can find my personal page at Nikki F. Wet, and then also you can find the podcast's page, TalkFlirty Pod, at Twitter or on Twitter. As far as the name, TalkFlirty Podcast, it is a play on Talk Dirty, but it's more presenting, I recognize that I am a big flirt, and I think naturally every person is a bit flirtatious. That's how you meet and greet people. But the name TalkFlirty Podcast is just a play on my personality and just getting out and being open, and sharing a certain closeness about myself through this podcast, which also takes me into explaining a little bit about the intro. And the intro is just me stating, welcome to TalkFlirty Podcast, the podcast where life is reflected through intimate conversation with me, your host, Nikki F. Wet. Intimate conversation, there's nothing really sexual about that either. So I hope everyone is not disappointed. Pretty much the basis of the show is a somewhat traveling podcast, and it's me in the pursuit of my own happiness, and recapping, it's kind of like a traveling therapy session. But I promise I won't be too crazy. With this is actually the relaunch. I've had my podcast, I've actually been in production with this podcast for just over a year. It was originally on iTunes through a different platform, but I wanted to take a little bit more control and really be focused on providing and updating content and just being serious with the overall show. So I went back to the drawing board, and I'm just relaunching. And my last show was May 3rd. What the hell? So much for more content, right? But a lot has taken place between my last show and right now. And honestly, I can't even remember it all. I moved to Las Vegas to party, and I am making sure. For some reason, God saw it fit for me not to be employed right now. So I truly am in Las Vegas just partying it up. I tried a weekly, go out from Sunday to Saturday, or well, technically it would be Sunday to Sunday, but I went out Sunday. I went to a nice little bar, just bar hopping downtown Fremont Street. Usually a lot of locals go there downtown, I guess. They kind of shy away from the strip. I don't shy away from the strip. It is a bit expensive, and it is not a place they will rob the fuck out of you if you live here and try to party it up on the strip. So I understand why locals don't usually go to the strip. But Sunday was downtown. Went to Vanguard, and then also to Beauty Bar, which was a nice bar. And it just so happened that Sunday was like a showcase type night. So they had local rappers there performing, and it was cool. They had two different styles. They had like a rap, hip hop, like a regular, like a Young Ma was performing. Young M.A. Wait, did I say her name right? Young M.A. Young M.A. was performing. Bootleg Young M.A. was performing in the front, and then in the back they had the bootleg Travis Scott. Not necessarily bootleg, they were really good, but they were like into those styles of artists. And then a mosh pit broke out, and I was kind of close to the stage, so I had to kind of take cover. They was crazy, but that was good. And the theme was so cute. Like it was called Beauty Bar, and the inside is like salon theme. So like makeup, nails, like beauty at a bar, right? So that was Sunday, and my cousin is out here from Sacramento as well, and so it's her and I going out. Monday we went to Marquee at the Cosmopolitan, and that was interesting. We got there kind of late also, which was crazy because even though we got there kind of late, it was still packed. Like once we made it down to the dance floor, the only thing you could do is stand there. You have no room to move or do anything. You just stand there on the dance floor. And the crowd was kind of like white frat boys. So the demographic was kind of specific to that crowd. And the music was all right. The playlist was okay. You can tell that it was music to draw and entertain tourists, people who were just passing through. So that was Monday. Now, with Marquee, you have to go up an elevator, like 6 floors, to get to the club. When it's time to leave the club, they don't allow you to go back down the elevator. You have to go down, out the back, down the stairs. And I'm like, what kind of speakeasy mess is going on over here? But I wasn't there that long, so my feet were not terribly hurting. So I make it down the stairs, 6 floors of stairs. And I get down to the bottom, and I hold on to the rail, and I take my shoes off. Soon as I take my shoes off and bend the corner to exit the back into the casino, Marquee has a person waiting with flip-flops. And as much as I appreciated those flip-flops, after I've just walked down 6 flights of stairs, I kind of wanted to burn his entire box of flip-flops and ask him why the fuck is he not at the top of the stairs. But I don't know, maybe they don't want to cause too much commotion at the top of the stairs, fire hazard, I don't know. But I was both joyous because I did not really want to walk through the casino, across the strip, through Planet Hollywood, and through the parking lot to get back to my car barefoot. So we kind of had a love-hate relationship. He just was not aware of it. So anyways, that was Monday. Tuesday where? God damn it. Where did I go on Tuesday? Okay, so Tuesday I went to Omnia, which is inside Caesar's Palace. So both Marquee and Omnia were on the strip. Omnia was also another white tourist attraction. It was not a very diverse crowd. It was majority white men and women, and the music again catered. The music at Omnia was kind of, I think because I had partied Sunday, Monday, and Monday was actually on the strip also. The playlist was kind of similar to the night before, and I was kind of starting to get over the poppy or like mainstream type mixes with a little bit of Lil Jon and fucking I don't even know. I honestly can't even tell you. They played like Lil Jon, then they would mix in Too Short, and then they played like Drake. So the playlist was kind of all over the place, and it's understood because it's a wide audience that they have to cater to. Again, we made our way to the dance floor, but it was a little bit more room. It happened to be EDC weekend, so a lot of clubs were catering to EDM music, and I am actually a big fan of EDM music. I grew up like right around the whole like Nirvana, grunge, alternative rock era, and so I adapted very easily growing up to EDM. For some reason, when I was like 12, I wanted, like, one of my dreams was to go to Spain, to go to Ibiza and just go rave. I'm gonna probably try and give myself a year or two to make that happen. But I don't know. I was kind of a weird fucking kid growing up. I used to listen to like cassette tapes of Boy George and fucking Culture Club. And so I listened to all types of music. But anyways, that was Tuesday. Omnia inside of Caesar's Palace. And but they had the EDM, and then they had EDM